Welcome to another episode of Everybody's Got Something. I'm your host, Seth Hoffman. Today on the show, we have Barney Lopez, producer, artist, pillar of the community, all around pretty awesome guy. Here we are.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, Barney, it's a pleasure to have you and get to hear some of the many things that you do with your life. And so why don't you first tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, where you came from.
Yeah, so my name is Barney Lopez. I'm a New Mexico native. I grew up in Valencia County, down in Los Lunas in Belen. And I've been living in Albuquerque over 20 years now, just doing art. Started doing theater, got my degree from UNM doing theater, and then also started doing music stuff and kind of found myself in the music scene here in town. And currently, I work over at Launchpad, helping produce concerts, and I do the booking there, as well as I play in a band, Red Light Cameras, that plays around the state and tours and stuff,
Yes.
And a new band called Dog Jury as well. Yeah.
Well, I shared with you that when I first started doing the show, you were on the top of the list of someone who I've been wanting to have a chance to sit down. Just been inspired at the multitude of things that you do. I first met you, I think, from Wrinkle Writing. I think that's it. I think where you came to my class and did some amazing things. The students developed their own plays. Can you take us back to how you came into the world? Because you do all these things. Can you tell us a little bit about when you were a kid, the stuff you were into, hobbies? Could you see glimpses of the things you're doing now?
Yeah, I guess so. When I was young, I kind of always had a knack for performance.
Yeah.
I think I got the performance bug really early. In middle school, I hosted a talent show once, and so I got into. They also let me help write I didn't know they were sketches, but they were sketch comedy in between the different talent acts.
Yeah.
And so I think that was my first foray into writing sketch comedy and creating, and then performing. I think having the name Barney kind of put.
Interesting.
It meant that I was getting made fun of a lot as a kid, and so one of my defense mechanisms was to be funny and to try and make jokes about it and deflect,
Yeah. Did you ever wish, I wish I had a different name, or
Oh,
did you?
yeah,
Did you?
yeah.
So you did.
I tried. Yeah, I tried.
Really?
In second grade, I tried telling the teacher, can you call me Victor, which is
Really?
my middle name.
Okay.
And she did. It lasted 2 days before somebody was like, "No, your name's Barney. You're Barney the dinosaur." And it was okay, all right, cool. So I just kind of had to
Embrace it.
embrace it, and I think that's probably partly why I fell into
Interesting.
being okay with being on stage and having eyes on me and performing and all of that.
So as a kid, was there a shy period, or was that not really who you were, or before all this, were you?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm in my shy period now.
Is that right?
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
Really?
Yeah. I think that when I was a kid, I leaned into it a lot and was very much on stage in front of people all the time. When in high school, I was part of drama. I did choir. I did the TV news. So I was on the desk like this and doing the TV news.
So you
for
didn't
the high
have
school.
you were afraid of public speaking or stage fright. That you were just all right, let's do it.
Yeah, I was very, very comfortable with it right away and was into it. And so I loved the theater. I fell in love with making theater and producing.
And was that in your family, or you just didn't want to see? How did you
not
get
so
to the theater
much,
book? Because a lot of kids, that's not necessarily. I mean, what inspired you, excited you about it?
I don't know. I just loved telling stories, and I love pretending, and just getting to be silly and have permission to do stupid stuff. I think as a kid I was this Jim Carrey guy is really funny. That's what comedy is, and it's slapstick seemed like a great opportunity. So, and then I got into so when I was in high school, I was doing plays in high school, and I wanted to write my own play. I was well, these plays that we're doing in high school are all really boring plays from the 50s and 60s, and they didn't really speak to me at all or feel relevant so much.
Yeah.
So I decided to write my own play and put on my own play, and so I I wrote a play, and I invited a bunch of friends from high school drama.
And so did you first start writing the script and then gradually, okay, this is real? Like, what was the process of from when the idea came, oh, maybe I'll do my own play, to making it real? Like, what was the process? I guess.
I think it was. It was just like I decided one day I'm going to do a play. I want to write a play. I have this great idea, and it's in my brain, and I'm going to write this story. And I've seen plenty of plays before. I've read a lot of plays. I think I can do this. I wrote a play.
So as you're writing sort of like the dialogue as it was going, like sort of as you were picturing it happening.
Yeah, and I think like that's when I like was my first like attempt at writing. I realized that like dialogue seemed to be one of my like stronger points in writing.
Yeah.
And I've gotten better at least I think I got better at writing. I don't know. That was probably my peak there. And like
it was all downhill.
It's all downhill from there. Yeah, so like I finished the play, and it was funny, or at least I thought like, man, now this is comedy, not this comedy from the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Look, these people are like Jim Carrey.
Yeah. So what was that like then to have done that and then seeing it come to life, and then this thing like, oh, that got a laugh, that actually really
it was pretty exhilarating, and it was really like fun to see like the words that I had like written out onto the page like come alive, and like have like actors saying these lines to each other, and like and my story, it was funny, and people were laughing, and I ended up getting a small like restaurant basically in Berlin that had a stage, and was like, hey, can I use your stage for a weekend so me and my friends could do this play that I wrote? And we put it up in Berlin, and our friends and family came, and that was it. It existed there, and it was gone. And that which is also kind of like maybe the beauty of what theater is. And I think also live music too, to an extent, is that like it's these shared live moments that you get to have that exist in like one. They exist in time, and then they're gone. You can't watch a play. Like people try like video filming like live theater, and like it doesn't hold, it doesn't stick. So it's
so you had to be. It's like the first like you had to be.
Yeah, you had to be there. You had to be there for the play in Berlin, the land of tomorrow. Yeah, and so
So can you tell us a little bit about what the premise of that first creation was?
If I remember correctly, the land of tomorrow was about this country who couldn't remember yesterday, and they could every day they would reset, their memories would reset, and they would just be happy, and it was all happy. And like two people from the UN go to this country, and they're like, you guys need to remember yesterday, and then they have to try and convince them.
This is no way to live.
This is no way to live, not knowing what happened yesterday. And I can't remember much more beyond that. If they solved it, I'm sure they solved it. They figured something out. I'm sure some kind of potion, or I don't know.
And so that was the seed planting of okay. I mean, and also in addition to a play, just for your own self. Okay, I had an idea, and I'm going to make this happen, and it happened. And to realize the power of
your thoughts,
of manifesting a thought, and sharing it, and like, wow, these people they're into it too, and
well, which is one of the like beauties about like theater, and why I feel like theater people can kind of do anything, right? And like when I used to teach wrinkle writing, when we first met, one of the like kind of concepts behind it was that if you teach kids how to do playwriting and how to make a play, that you're teaching them way more than just about theater. You're teaching them about writing. You're teaching them about organizing a whole group of people. You're teaching them about like, cause and effect, about marketing, about you have to do math, you have to construct sets, you have to like build props, you have to measure.
And just the idea of like compromising, just that communication, as you're developing a script with another person, there's a little bit of a give and take, and a little bit of realizing, someone else has an idea, or just sort of that flow, which think of as far as a life skill that a lot of people never get.
Well, and it's a lot of work that we end up doing as adults, is not like memorizing stuff and putting it down on a piece of paper. It's a lot of like knowing how to work with a bunch of collaborators in a giant system to complete a goal, to complete a project. And so I think that that's really like some of the power of what you can do with theater. And
I remember there was a scene where there was a car, and we were thinking like, all the kids, well, we need a car, we need to somehow, and you said, and you had, I don't know if you remember that, but you're like, no, you like, some of the kids were like with the wheels, like when the car would go, and somehow they formed it just with themselves, and it was way better than if we actually had a car.
Yeah.
And just that idea, like, oh, we have this thing we're missing, and through you gave them the kind of the power, like, oh, we can make this happen.
Yeah, it's like you have to. It's the beauty of theater too, and I think a little bit more in the theater than with film, and not to like diss filmmaking or anything like that, but like with the theater, you really the freedom to be creative to solve your problems is so much grander, right? Yeah. Because people watching theater will believe that a bunch of kids on the ground going like this are wheels, and they'll be like, oh, I see it, I get it, I get it, right? Like we suspend our disbelief in the theater just far enough to like continue enjoying the play. You know, and I think that that's really beautiful, and it doesn't underestimate your audience, right? It teaches you that like your audience is valuable, and they're smart. They can put things together. They can figure out what you're doing.
It's like a shared experience.
Yeah, and you don't have to spoon feed them like, this is what I want you to feel right now. This is what you need to look at right now. With like live theater, you can be there and you can watch whichever actor you choose. You know, you don't have to watch who.
There to the cameras now.
Watch the director. Now. The director's not going like, okay, now look at her reaction.
I never thought about that's true. When you were seeing a play, like everyone's experiencing it probably a little bit differently as far as.
Well, and it's interesting too. I was watching a video the other day about like modern filmmaking, right? And like films nowadays, they do the soft focus all the time, and it's very directional. It's very much like you should be looking at this person, and everything behind them is like just soft focus and doesn't matter. But when you watch old films, they didn't have that like the same soft focusing techniques. So you would see the person, and then you could see the detail of the wall behind them. You know, you could see the details of the set and the scenery. Whereas now filmmaking, at least for now, and it's kind of like the Marvelization of film has like pushed it to be very directional, right? Which is. It's fine. It's your film. You want to direct and tell me how to feel. That's totally fine. But,
Interesting. And so, Blackout Theatre, something you've been involved with for a long time, and phasing to different parts. So you can tell me just a little bit about what that is and what you're doing with it now still.
So Blackout Theatre was we started Blackout Theatre Company in 2007. A bunch of us. So after high school, I went to college at UNM, and while I was in college at UNM, still had the same, like me and a group of people all got together, and we're like, well, at UNM, they're only teaching us about dramatic acting. Everyone treats comedy like it's garbage, and it's a lesser art. You know, that's just. I mean, even Hollywood does that too. But like, so I think all of us that were in the UNM theater program decided, you know what, we want to treat comedy like it's like a serious art form as well, and study it. And so we studied improv during a winter break just on our own. We got someone to teach us improv, and then we started learning sketch writing and writing sketch comedy shows, and we started doing this show called Blackout Tonight, which was a late night sketch comedy show that would happen after the UNM like official productions. Everyone would go downstairs into the X Theater, and we would have these late night sketch shows that would happen there. And we'd have a band. We'd usually have a band play, and we'd have a comedian. It was just like a Saturday Night Live ripoff, basically, you know. But it was very much
like a local Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. But it was once again like very much like a reaction to like, oh, you know what, we can do this on our own. This like DIY like spirit of things. And so Blackout kind of started from that. And then we started creating our own plays. We started like once again like writing plays and producing them and getting theaters and that grew. And I was with Blackout Theatre Company for about 15 years or so. Just recently, I stepped away from the company to just kind of let them go off on their own, and I'll focus on my own new things. But still do some things with Blackout Theatre. I'm still kind of loosely affiliated.
A video of something that you're working on.
Yeah, one of the projects. One of the projects that I still work with Blackout Theatre is called Night School, and Night School is this edutainment program that I believe is showed. I think they show some episodes here on public access from time to time, and basically it's a comedic program where our host Antonio Antman interviews different experts about things somewhat related to New Mexico history. Like this episode is Billy the Kid here. And so we interviewed someone who was the actor who played Billy the Kid in a TV series, right? So usually like the funny of it is we get someone to interview that's an expert and they're not really an expert, but we learn what we can from them. So we like interview this guy about playing Billy the Kid.
Anything that comes to mind about his experience of Billy the Kid, or any Billy the Kid?
You know, he knew some like good stuff about Billy the Kid just from like, you know, actors have to do their research.
So he really was. He actually was.
Yeah.
Or that was like his role. Like
that was his role. He played Billy the Kid in like I think it was a documentary TV show or something like that, like for like the History Channel or something like that.
So he was like the expert.
Yeah. So we're like, well, you acted as Billy the Kid, so what can you tell us about Billy the Kid? And we learned that Billy the Kid is like, he's not entirely a bad guy. He's not entirely a good guy. He kind of like the government that was after him and chasing after Billy the Kid were kind of like corrupted and being bought out by the Walgreens of their times, because all of these like general stores were popping up. And as the general stores were popping up around the Southwest, they were like, they wanted to be monopolies. Right? And so they would chase other people out of town for trying to open up their own stores. And there were these like basically like wars between like Walgreens versus CVS, but it was like they'd send cowboys over to go shoot up the CVS, right? And like Billy the Kid was one of those cowboys that was like caught up in these like disputes between like rival merchants essentially in the Wild West.
I'll have to check that out. So I'll have to put, and so these are on YouTube?
Yeah, they're all on YouTube, on Blackout Digital's YouTube channel. And so like Billy the Kid, we learned a whole bunch. We've done an episode on the Harvey Girls, on Balloon Fiesta. Right now we're currently doing one on New Mexico sports. So like earlier this week, me and Antonio Ant-Man Anthony went out to the United practice. And so we got to watch the New Mexico United soccer team play do their practice.
And did you have to like connect with them first, say, hey, we're doing this thing?
Yeah, and like reached out to their people. We had a handler who was like, you guys need to stay this far away from practice. It's opening week.
Is that right?
You can't interfere with this practice. It's very important. And so we got to like talk to one player at the end of practice real quick. And we talked to the president of New Mexico United. It's our interview. So like sometimes we get good people for our interviews and it works out. But it's a really fun program, and it's really nice to like kind of delve into some New Mexico history and learn stuff. I learned about land grants. I've learned about the Harvey houses that are all over. The Harvey House episode's really fun.
And what's a Harvey house?
So the Harvey houses were these homes, or not homes. They were a business that this guy Fred Harvey opened up, usually along the railroads, and then he had train cars as well. So when the railroads were expanding through the West, he would have these restaurants that were pretty standardized. He'd hire a bunch of young women who a lot of them were like trying to move away from their house, and so they'd leave town and hop on a train and go to the Harvey House training, and they'd become Harvey girls, and they were basically like waitresses that would serve people working the railroad and going across the country in these like nice dining halls. And then they would also have usually rooms and stuff. And all these women the Harvey girls would live there at the Harvey house. So they would have like dorms and a dorm
and this
mother.
Is a uniquely New Mexico.
It was throughout the West, but there are several of them in New Mexico. There's like still one, the Alvarado train station is an old Harvey house. Like there used to be one right there. There's one in Las Vegas, New Mexico. In Berlin, there's a Harvey house there. And so like, it's this history. We interviewed.
So that was the focus of that.
Yeah, that was that episode, and
Very
we
cool.
focused on that and learned all about the Harvey houses. It was really it's cool. It's a fun program. We got a grant from the I think Urban Enhancement Trust Fund or something like that. So we're doing another 4 episodes currently on that grant.
Cool. Right on.
So I'm still doing that with Blackout Theatre Company, but other than that, I'm kind of like retired from Blackout and kind of just focusing on a lot of my other stuff, like my booking and stuff.
Yes. So there, the different personnel, the different parts of Barney Lopez. So we talked about the theater part, and music of course, is a performance. How does your theater background, does it connect with your music? I mean, do you? I'm sure you. It's, you know, it plays a big part. I want you to speak on that, or how the connection, or how it comes to life.
Yeah, I feel like music is theater, right? And like especially live performance. I think doing music recording is a little bit different of an experience. Yeah. Just because it's that one feels more like you're writing a play, or you know, but like you're going into studio and you time is diluted basically. Yeah. Whereas like with live performance and playing with a live band on stage, you're on a stage, and as soon as you get on a stage, it's...
And even here, this looks like a studio, but it's still your... fully, it's a performance.
Yeah, so this was us live KUNM, and so here the local college radio station, they'll bring bands in from time to time to record in there. And so we brought a cameraman with us to record. I edited this video with my wife, and we just cut everything together from footage we got at that recording.
Very cool.
Yeah. But I feel like when I'm on stage, it's a stage, right? It's all theater. It's all theater. So like when I'm performing with my bands, a lot of times we think about like, what are we wearing? What kind of costumes? What what makes sense for the show?
And is this the Tiny Desk one?
Yeah, this one's here is our Tiny Desk concert that we submitted about 2 years ago for the song Mahal. We filmed this in the Launchpad green room.
Wow.
So this is the green room of Launchpad, and it's really tiny, small closet kind of room. But yeah, so I'm always like thinking, what's our costume gonna be? You know, when we're performing, I like making a set list that kind of has like an arc to it, you know, that kind of follows this kind of.
And so is it a collaborative? Do you make the set list because you kind of have that vision, or is it always like a collaborative?
It's usually
thing?
like between me and Amanda. The two of us are usually like making the set list together. But thinking about it as like a show, like a full show, you know, and like it's not just. That from the moment
it's not a list of songs. It's an experience.
Yeah. And when you're on stage, when I'm on stage, I'm usually like putting on a show. Like here I am, like swaying around in the background here. Like there's a fan on the ground in this shot, and my hair's like flying in the fan, and that's all intentional. You know, it's all like. It's improv in a way, right? Because when I'm on stage playing,
you didn't know you were going to necessarily do that.
Not necessarily, but I did put the fan there. Okay. I put the fan there, and we're all in these white outfits, which is all like coordinated. You know, we have fans across the whole front, and so I'll sway in front of the fan from time to time to get my hair to flow because it's interesting.
Exciting, something, part of the experience.
Yeah, it's something like. Fun to watch visually, right? And people come to see a show,
right?
And like sometimes I'll watch bands. I see a ton of bands all the time, and some bands will just like sit there and play and like not move, and like for some music that makes total sense, right? Like you're, you know, depending on the song. But I've always just felt like, you know, you should be playing out to the audience and like showing them your thing. I mean, like I could strum the guitar like this, or I could strum it like this, right? Same strum, exact same strum. That's not changing how I strum the guitar necessarily sound-wise. But when I do this and bring my hand around, everyone's like, "Whoa, he played that better." You know, like
how'd you do that?
It's so stupid. Like I'll do stuff with bass because I'm playing bass, right? So bass guitar is like. You know, it's not rocket science to play bass. You know, it's pretty simple. And so I'll do stuff sometimes playing bass where I just like, I hit one note and I lift the guitar up to the crowd, and I haven't done shit. I haven't done anything except press one note and then lift the guitar up, and everyone's like, "Whoa, man, that guy's playing bass." And I'm like,
"Can you teach me how you do?"
I'm like, "Yeah, you hit G here, and that's it."
And is that something just over time? Like, did you see other musicians like, "Wow, I like to do that," or just you're alive and just you want to keep it something?
Yeah, I mean, I think always just like seeing other musicians. There's this one band we played with one time years and years ago called Those Darlings. Okay. Those Darlings. Okay. And I just remember the lead singer from that band. She would play and her eyes would be like like the widest eyes I'd ever seen open,
Yeah.
you know, and just staring out into the audience, like
Wow.
super connecting. And it just, the energy that was coming from her eyes as she performed was just like, I'm like, well, this is what I'm watching. You know, you know, like I'm not gonna go get another drink. I'm gonna watch this woman like stare at us.
Yeah,
you know? Like that's, and so like I'll watch bands and I'll see them like do some kind of move, you know, whatever kind of silly move that they do, like this. Or I saw two guys once get in front of each other and then they do like dun, 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 like this, and I'm like, I gotta try that. That looks fun. I gotta see how that works and try that out. So. Yeah, so there's like a lot of like, you know, inspiration that you see other bands do.
Do you feel, because Red Light Cameras, that band's, it's like the biggest band in town. I mean, it's there's bands and then there's like, I don't know if you guys knew that would happen when you started playing together, but I'm guessing part of that full vision of the theater of it all is part of what separates your band.
I think so. I mean, when we
along with the talent. I mean, you got an incredible
well, music. Yeah. There's tons of talented bands in town too, right? You're like definitely more talented, and like I don't consider myself like the most talented bass player in town. Like not even close, even close. But but I think part of our appeal for the band is that we are theatrical. Me and Amanda met.
I mean, talk about someone's giving 110% for every show.
Yeah, and we met doing theater together. So Amanda was in the theater program at UNM.
Okay, so that's how
and and so when me and Chris Walsh were starting this band, we were like, you know what? We could use a better singer than us. And so we
I wonder who's a...
Yeah.
And so that must have like blown your mind.
I was like, well, I know this girl Amanda and she's singing in Rent right now. And so like we saw her in Rent and we're like, I think she played Mimi in Rent, who's like the rock and roll kind of singer in Rent. Yeah. And it was like, well, she's really talented. We should have her come and audition for us. Yeah. And like, she came and auditioned and immediately we were like, this is it. This is the person. And it's been awesome because Amanda is a very theatrical. She has a theatrical mind as well, and so she's always thinking about like performing for an audience and expressing and putting herself out. Yeah. You know, to the crowd, to the camera, to whatever. She's always really focused on that. Yeah. And so I think the like shared vision of making this like a theatrical band that's fun to watch. Yeah. Is kind of what like one of our bigger strengths that we've had as a band.
And what I've seen is just like the way you use dynamics, the way you guys some you know, it's like one, maybe a kick and like one string on guitar, then like it can go to first like
I've always 11, I've always been a fan of the Pixies, right? And the Pixies do that loud, quiet, loud thing all the time. Yeah. And I'm like, that's the best. I'm like, that's as good as music gets.
Rock and music, if it's like the best thing, and if it's like up there the whole time, you'll kind of like, okay, that's cool, but to play with that dynamic.
To really go into that. And then I think also like a thing that we've done too is that we lean into the like catchiness and the poppiness. And sometimes, like for sure, it can be corny to be like, this song, we're going to go fire. We're just going to say that, and we're going to clap, and we're going to do all, you know, and I get it. It can be cheesy and all that, but man, people love doing it, you know? And like, and that's what we're doing music for. At the end of the day, we're doing music so that we can like share a moment with an audience, and everybody in the crowd can go away being like, feeling like elevated, you know, right? Like people should leave your concert feeling like they just had a big meal, you know, this beautiful meal, a meal for the soul, and they're like nice and full and happy and ready to go to bed. And they go home and they tap their feet and they hum whatever like lyric that you had going during the show. Like that's really like, music is a community event, right? And I think that Red Light Cameras does really good at being a community band, and I think that's our success. Is being part of the community. We'll play a lot of shows that are like family friendly shows. We play a lot of shows that are like you know, benefit shows and concerts that are like for good causes and all of that stuff, to give back to the community in our way. And then we do our late night we're playing this upcoming Saturday night over at Sister Bar, and we'll probably be playing pretty late into the night, and that's for like the rock and party thing, and that's its own community,
Yeah. And so when did you realize that band was going to be what it's come to be? I mean, everyone starts a band, like, oh, we're going to start a band, it's going to be a cool thing. When did you kind of realize, like, whoa, there's something really special happening here. People are recognizing this and feeling something.
It was pretty quick. I'd say like as soon as we got Amanda in the band, it was like, oh, she's a really good singer, and people really like hearing her sing. This is like really great, and our songs were like I think we were already writing like catchy songs. But finding the right voice to match up with the catchiness. And then Amanda writes great songs too. So like Amanda. When Amanda joined the band, before that she had been in a cover band with some of her dad's friends out in the East Mountains. And they would give her songs and be like, "Here's your lyrics to your songs. Learn this and perform this." And then when Amanda joined us, we were like, "Well, we're gonna write music, and you could sing whatever you want, and you come up with the lyrics because you're the singer, and that makes more sense for the singer to write the lyrics." And I think that freedom, like, she really opened up and leaned into that.
So is that kind of how the process is? You guys come up with something, say, hey, check this out. What do you feel inspired?
Yeah, that's kind of always been the process with Red Light. Is it's like we start off with like kind of a one idea, and then we grow it from there. And and whether that idea is, sometimes Amanda will come to the band and be like, hey, I have this melody that I've been kind of like messing around with, and we'll listen to it and we'll go, oh, well, I think maybe this chord progression might work with that, and then maybe let's add a bridge to that, and call it good. It's pop music. There's a chorus, a verse, and a bridge. It's done. Set. Done.
And what's your like rehearsal? Has it been the same since you started the band? Is like sort of like a once a week we meet at so and so's house, or? Yeah,
I mean, ideally, I think that as we've gotten more like busy, both in our lives and as a band itself, it gets a little less frequent. But ideally, it's like we meet once a week and we practice once a week, and then we now it's like we're usually performing once a week as well. So like time gets eaten up and all that, but and then you're also like part of the joys of like meeting once a week is that you can continue to like write music ideally, right? Because there's so much music to be made. Like there's unlimited amount of music to be made. But it's not going to be made if you're just if you don't pick up your instrument.
Right.
And so I think that like the importance of getting together once a week and just having like a jam and playing music together and going over ideas and continuing to move the ball forward just a little bit is the.
And what have you learned about just the dynamics of being in a band? Because to be in a band, and especially for that long of a time, I'm sure the crowd's like, oh, it'll just be a party all the time. It must just be just fun and just, and obviously there's challenges to it. What's that been like as far as the secret to staying together and your longevity, and what are some things you've learned from it?
I mean, even to be honest, Red Light Cameras we're not the same band that we were when we started, like things happen over time, and people's lives change, their obligations change, their focuses change, all that stuff is going to happen. And I think being able to be malleable and able to like adapt to circumstances and listen to one another and work with one another through different changes is like super important. I mean, when Red Light started, we had we were a 5-piece very early on when we started, and we had we lost a guitar player pretty early on because things got a little too intense with because it's like, honestly, being in a band, there is a lot of partying, right? And a lot of times you're out late, you're out until like midnight, later sometimes. You're getting paid in alcohol, and you're getting maybe a little money too, but like your drink tickets are part of your pay, so you better drink, and so
don't want to waste it.
And then people are buying you shots on stage, you guys were so good, come have a drink with me, and so like there's definitely, and not to mention like other drugs use that happens sometimes in the music world, that it can get overwhelming, and I think that like and I've seen a lot of bands where they'll crash out, you know, like even like, I won't say the name, but like recently there was an artist that played locally on a big tour, you know, and from what I heard, the last week of their tour had been kind of them like kind of crashing out and maybe doing a little bit too much partying and drugs and stuff like that. And then they came to Albuquerque and had a rough show, and then they canceled the tour the next day.
Wow.
The rest of their tour, because that, like, he couldn't handle it anymore.
Right, that's like a fine line of that balance to appreciate the party, but it's if you
I mean, like that, and that happens. I've seen it happen as a concert promoter and booker. I've seen it happen like a ton of times where there's bands that burn too hot in a way, you know, and they live the life of the party, and the party takes them over, and it can sink them, and so like there's a lot of bands that'll like happen, and they'll hit it really hot, and then like 2 years later they're broken up, they hate each other, you know, they're never talking, and you know, but not to say that that's like what always happens, right? It's just one of the like things you do have to look out for.
It's a reality.
In the music.
It's a reality of that world.
You're living with the nightlife, right? If you love the nightlife and you love to party, you really gotta like be careful. And like myself too. I mean, like I've had like issues where I'm like, I need to keep my drinking under control. And luckily, I've stayed away from like any really hard drugs or anything like that. So I'm like, which I think has been like a saving grace for me to be able to like keep my head on. And
that's why it's like, there should be like a thing for musicians like to talk like really to the youth, because you know when we're in school, never drink, never try, blah blah blah. Of course that's not a reality. Where it's like, hey, you're gonna come across these things, you know, maybe you'll try to keep it. These things, you know, maybe you don't want to touch. It's not necessarily worth that part of it, you know. And so someone's like, this person knows what they're talking about. I can trust this person. And
because it's fun, and it's really easy to get carried up in it. I think the like younger generation now isn't as into drinking as they were,
that.
Which is,
it's interesting.
But they are into like other things, you know, which have their downsides as well. And so I feel like learning where your limits are and learning how to like, you know, party responsibly. You know,
I mean, that sounds like a crazy thing, but that's like one of the most. I mean, I have a 5-year-old kid who's second at parties, but he loves music and this sort of thing. But you think about these conversations and something like that. You do party responsibly, and not just like, if I ever catch you with the beer, if I ever catch you trying.
Because it's just gonna go the complete opposite. You know,
and to be able to maintain that, like, okay, I'm someone who you can talk to, and this is just a reality, you know, and to live but responsibly, so you can continue doing it.
Exactly. And then and then relationships too happen, you know, like that. I used to be married to the former drummer of Red Light Cameras, and that didn't work out, and so she left the band and moved, and you know, so we got a new drummer, and then we had that drummer Joey was with us for like, I think like 7 years almost, and then he got a job during the pandemic and moved away from here, so then we had to get another drummer, and so like, you know, keeping a band going for 15, we're over 15 years now.
Incredible.
You have changes that come and go, and I think that like being honest with the fact that those changes are going to come, and that it's okay. It's all, you know, that's all right. You can continue being a band if you want to, and as long as everybody's like clear about that. You know, when we had members leave in the past, it was like there was a conversation of like, hey, we're going to keep this going, we're going to get some replacements, and you know, there was an understanding of the band kind of being its own thing. Me and Amanda call it our baby, right? Like we've got like a teenager here that we've like kind of born 15 years ago, and now it's continuing to go, and so you know, and it's beyond just necessarily the members, right? Because this music is something that people connect with, and we have fans who have been following us for all this time, and you know that we've had songs that have been people's like first dance song and like wedding song, which is like crazy to think, you know, that has like a life beyond us, that it doesn't belong to us.
It's bigger than you. Create something that's bigger than you.
I mean, I kind of like, I don't know, to be like hippie about it, I kind of feel like no music belongs to us, right? In a way, like we're just borrowing music from like the airwaves that are around us, and
we get to ride on those waves.
We figure out the secret air frequencies to like make this song, and we're like, oh, I like those air frequencies.
Uh-huh,
Cool. Thanks for pushing those air frequencies to me.
Yeah. And then when everyone's riding them together, they like get more powerful.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Experience
And
it.
it's, yeah. But it's not like, I'm like, I can't own the air frequencies.
Right,
You know,
right.
I can't own this thing. You
Yeah,
know, I guess I could record it and then I can
Yeah.
pretend to own it and sell it.
Right.
And that's music. That's the music industry.
Yeah, yeah. And so you and Amanda would share like kind of like musical soulmates in some ways. I mean, when you think how, I mean, you may have had others, but I mean that bond that you have, it sounds pretty powerful.
It's been pretty strong, and I think that it's just been fun to create. It's easy to create with Amanda, and I feel like when you're doing creation projects, you want to work with people who it's easy to create with, but also push you and challenge you. The other guys in the band with Red Light Cameras are really great. Mag is a wonderful songwriter. He's got a great voice, and he really pushes our songwriting in ways that are like outside the box of what normal pop music can be, right? And which has been so fun writing songs with him. That song Mahal that we played earlier was a song that Mag kind of came up with the initial riff of that, and it's like it's a song in an odd time signature. It's not like straightforward, 4/4. Right. I think it switches time signatures from between the chorus and the verse as well. And so there's like some complexities in there that I feel like has pushed me as like a musician and a songwriter. And then same with like Aaron and Justin. Justin's a phenomenal drummer who came to us from like a technical death metal scene, and so like getting to have somebody who can like shred on the drums and do all kinds of crazy stuff is great. And then Aaron plays guitar for us, and he's phenomenal guitar player. He's a better bass player than me. He plays bass with Casey Mraz's band, Los Metamorphos. But Aaron's his guitar tones and his soloing, it's so fun working with Aaron because like I'm always just like amazed that he can do so much on the fretboard. And so I feel like it's like important to be humble as a musician, and know that like there are lots of people better than you, and you can learn from them, and you can work with them, and you can grow with them.
Everyone's our teachers.
Yeah.
And so this one, where is this? Is this?
Oh, this is our show at Meow Wolf.
Oh, this is the one at Meow Wolf.
Yeah, which we've played. I think we've played Meow Wolf about 5 or 6 times now.
Do you have a favorite venue? Do you have a favorite place that you look forward to? Either that you played once that you loved, or a place that you have played a number of times that you're like, I love playing something about this place. Yeah,
let's see. The one time we went to South by Southwest one year, and we played on the roof of this bar in downtown Austin. I think it was the Handlebar, and they had a concert going up on the roof on St. Patrick's Day, and we had gotten a spot at this like festival, and were able to play like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock on St. Patrick's Day, and there was a line out the venue, down the block, and all that. The whole roof was just packed with people, and it was just like such a great like vibe and experience. Like South by Southwest is a ton of fun. It's a great festival. I think they just started today or yesterday.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
The official start of South by Southwest in March, and so that was really fun. Meow Wolf is a great stage. It's really fun to just like be there in the space with an audience that's just the audience has a different energy when they see a show at Meow Wolf. I think they feel more willing to like have fun and play and all that. And I think just because everywhere you look is this artistic, like eye candy everywhere. So you're just kind of like,
it's like sort of like naturally intoxicating.
It's visually intoxicating to be there, and you're just like on cloud 9. And so Meow Wolf's really fun. We played this last summer. We played in El Paso at the McKelligan Amphitheater, which is like the Red Rocks of El Paso.
Wow.
It's up in the mountains, and it's like this big amphitheater against these rocks and huge audience. I think there was like 300 to 400 people that were there for that show in El Paso. It was sponsored by the radio station, and it was like it was a great show. I love traveling with the band. That's a thing that I've really appreciated with Red Light Cameras and with music. Music has really taken me across the country, you know, and I never got to travel much as a kid or anything like that. I mostly am like New Mexico, born and raised, and mostly stay here.
Yeah.
But whenever with Red Light Cameras, we get to go all over. You know, I've toured up the West Coast. I've gone to the Southwest. We flew out to, last year, we were flown out to Washington, D.C. by Senator Martin Heinrich, and we played his inauguration party in D.C. That was something else. That's incredible. That was really cool. Wow. And then we also went to Colusa, California, which is like a small farming town in Northern California by Sacramento, and played for their like community festival out there, and that was like really cool. Ruidoso, I love playing in Ruidoso. There's a great community there of people that like come out and watch us play.
What's it like as playing when you know you're playing for like a crowd who already knows you and loves you, and then playing for someone? I imagine you've, even being a big band when you're traveling, maybe there's people who they're just meeting you kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I love making new fans. I love impressing people for the first time. You know, it's really fun.
Wait till they hear that.
It's really fun to just get. That's part of the fun of touring is that like here in Albuquerque, Red Light Cameras it's a big band, and most people know who we are here in town. Yeah. But when we go to El Paso or when we go to like Texas or California, Arizona or whatever, we're back to nobodies, you know? And so we're just some band called Red Light Cameras. That's a weird name for a band. Why would you call your band that? Right. And so we show up and then people don't have expectations as much there. So like when we played in Colusa this last summer, there was just like a bunch of small town, like farming town kind of people. There were trucks of tomatoes driving by. I guess they do tomatoes there. And we like played for all these people who had no idea who we were. And they were just, all the kids were dancing and having a great time. There was this one boy who was like, I could tell he was a musician because he was just like staring at our guitar player, like intently, like watching him like, oh yeah. And then he came up after and was like, oh my God, you guys are so good. And then talked to our guitar player like forever after the show to find out. And it's like those moments where you're just like reaching people that you never would have reached with your music, and just a shared love of music, you know, a shared love of these airwaves. Like you create all kinds of like deep connections.
That's beautiful. And I know just what I've seen of like Amanda, she was like, it's almost like she's like there, everyone's like mother in a way, you know, it's just kind of like you feel like so like loved, you know, and to be able to play for, to appreciate music, but also to feel like loved by the band too, you know, it's a special thing.
And we're very like, I think that's like a big thing that I love about this band is that Red Light Cameras is very friendly. We're an approachable band. We're not like, we're not uptight and
we're the biggest band,
hanging out in town. We don't hanging out in the green room. Maybe back in the day we could tell. No, I mean we finish and like immediately when we finish, Amanda goes straight to the merch table so that she can like talk to everyone who wants to talk to her at the merch table. You know, it's not like there's kind of like, I feel like we're always trying to kill our ego, right? Or at least for me, I'm always trying to like kill the ego because it's you know.
I feel like this town is kind of special that way. You know, you've been in many other towns, maybe you can tell me, but it seems Albuquerque has some of the most talented, but some of the most humble, down-to-earth musicians. I don't know, you know a lot more of them. So, I don't know, because you see, like, you know, we'll talk about Launchpad and stuff, because you've seen so many bands and know them, but it feels that way. It feels like it's one of the most just kind of humble, like there's not like a big chip on everyone's shoulder.
And I think part of that is that we're so isolated, you know, like Albuquerque is still kind of the Wild West,
right?
You know, like it's 8 hours to the closest big city, right? I guess El Paso's 5, and that's a bigger city than Albuquerque, but it's just so far away from these big cities, and we're not like a music hub. We're like cities like LA and Austin and
we're
Nashville.
Like on the way place. We're not like we're like we can't do it.
I mean, like I'll be honest. Like I book concerts for Launchpad, and like everyone's always like, man, why do we get concerts on Tuesday nights? Why do I have to go see my favorite band on a Monday? I have work the next day. Couldn't they book this on the weekend? It's like no, because they want to play the weekends in Dallas. It's a big city. Denver and Phoenix. All those are much bigger cities than Albuquerque. And so like very often Albuquerque is, if we get a concert at all, It's a very small, it's midweek concert usually. And then half the time bands will just drive through. Like if you look at like band tour schedules, like the big bands, you'll notice they'll go from Dallas to Phoenix, and they'll just take a day off.
Can you at least wave to us?
Yeah, I know, right? They're like, we'll throw a pizza on the Breaking Bad house, and then we're ready. We got to get out of here. So it's like, I feel like the isolation kind of helps us in a way, because we don't follow the trends as much here in Albuquerque. Albuquerque always feels like maybe a few years off from what the new modern trend is, like if everybody's doing whisper singing right now, like whisper singing indie pop is like huge across the country right now. And in Albuquerque, they're like, we're just getting to pop punk right now. Just give us a moment here. We'll get there. No, I mean, like, not to say that there's not like very talented musicians here that are playing like current, really cool, interesting music and all that. But I think that we take a little bit more time to like process the art that's coming out from the rest of the country here. And I think also the stakes are so much lower, right? When you're in like Nashville and you're in Austin and you're in LA or these major like music cities, the competition is like huge, right? Like
you go to an open mic and you're like, what? These people are at the open mic? Like,
there's somebody who's like singing, like the next Bob Dylan's like playing at this open mic, and you're like, well, I can't compete with that.
What chance do I have here?
Here you're like, I could write whatever stupid song I want, and I could go to some DIY club and I can play it. And like, maybe there's 15 people there, maybe there's 100 people there. It doesn't really matter. There's this kind of like freedom of nothing's a big deal, right? And not in a derogatory way, but I always tell myself, like, it's just Albuquerque. It's just Albuquerque. And like, I don't mean it as a diss to Albuquerque. I mean, I love this fact about it being just Albuquerque. It's like, I can experiment. I can do this.
It's like a liberating.
Like I have another band.
I was gonna ask. Tell us.
So I have another band I play with called Dog Jury, which is been around about 2 years now. We have an album out. We're working on another one. And that project is definitely more of my like, fuck it band. Like do whatever. Play a Monday night. Play Tuesday night. It doesn't matter. It's just Albuquerque, and we'll play songs that. We'll write. We have songs. We have songs. If you want to call them that. But like, we have songs that we'll play the song, and we'll get to the end of the song, and we'll feel like playing longer, and Ryan will just keep on drumming, and then we'll do some crazy breakdown and just destroy the song at the end of it, and like it falls into pieces, and it's like. It doesn't matter, and it's so freeing and so nice to be able to like, as an artist, to express myself and be able to like, with Dog Jury, we're writing songs that are like definitely a little bit more political and more socially conscious stuff. This is the video for Bad Tattoo at the Mall, which is kind of just about being like, it's just about like fucking around at the mall, and kind of being like, being trashy and proud of it in a way, but like, we've got songs. We've had, in our new album, we've got a song called Captain Planet. It's about Captain Planet, right? But he's like coming to like kill everybody because we've killed the Earth, and he's coming to get revenge for the Earth, right? And so like we have like a song called Not the Same that's kind of about like people getting swept up by ICE detention and stuff like that. And so it feels very much like with Dog Jury, that project is more about. Well, I get to sing in it, right? And me, all three of us in the band get to sing, and so all of us get to kind of express ourselves through terrible vocals. I mean, we're not, none of us are like pretty singers at all, but that doesn't matter. It just, we'll scream our lyrics and we'll just have a good time.
Personality and soul to it.
And we'll put the energy and have fun and just kind of have a good time. So that's been a lot of fun, because that project feels a lot like. The stakes are so much lower with Dog Jury, and in a way it's kind of freeing. Whereas like Red Light Cameras plays like really, we just announced a show at the Winrock Mall, big outdoor amphitheater.
That's a cool
family
spot.
friendly. It's a really good spot. And that's that type of show. Whereas like Dog Jury is going to be playing at like the Black Wall Art Gallery on a Wednesday night, and this with some random band from like Montana, that like no one's ever heard of, but they hit us up and wanted to play somewhere in town, so we're gonna do our best to give them a place to play and have fun. So help them along the road. And
well, that's kind of cool. You get to have, because with red light cameras, there's an expectation, kind of like where this, it's like, I mean, there's probably a growing expectation of like, let's just see what's going to happen. Let's see what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Dog Jury is also a very theatrical band. It's just my theatricality like continues through into it as well.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Launchpad and what you do there, and who you are, what you do for the music community, both in Albuquerque and around.
Yeah, so Launchpad, I've been working with for a little over 10 years now, I think 11 maybe. And basically I started because I was doing red light cameras for a while, and I was booking red light cameras concerts and stuff, and filling out the lineup and putting shows together and making them a theme show and having like really good shows with red light, and realized that I really enjoyed putting shows together. And it kind of goes back to high school. When I was in high school, I did some, I had like my parents, we lived in a double wide trailer, and we had a single wide trailer next to us that we used to live in, but no longer lived in. It kind of like fallen into disrepair. And I started throwing concerts in this single wide trailer in high school. And so I would have like my high school band and other high school bands come, and we'd just have like little parties and I do shows, right? And so this is my first foray into like being a concert producer. Wow. And so I after doing it with red light again, I was like, you know what, I could go back to doing this, but I need a place to pay me. I wanted like the thing is, I feel like I'm an artist, and part of being an artist is trying to like work in the arts and make a living in the arts. And so one of the things I saw was that like venues probably need somebody to put these shows together, and I've had some success with putting shows together, and I have fun doing it. I've always wanted to do it. So I went to the Launchpad and I approached Joe Anderson and was like, can I work here? And can I maybe bartend for happy hour and bar back and put concerts together every now and then? And then just, he gave me a chance, and like slowly over time, I started working on more concerts and putting more together at Launchpad and at Low Spirits and Moonlight Lounge. And then eventually I started doing the Night of the Living cover bands, which is
how long has that been going on?
That's been going, I want to say like 17 years now. Wow. I've been with it about 10. And so it's a concert series that Launchpad does that features a ton of local bands. Now it's over 100 local bands that do a cover set, a 20-minute cover set. And we go through like 12 bands a night during all of October. And it's a huge community event. And so I started taking over that when I got into Launchpad, and that's one of the like bigger shows that I worked on. But I also got just into producing concerts and booking touring bands. It was kind of the next thing. So I've always had like a good sense of the local scene, but like when I got to Launchpad, I started learning about how to work with booking agents and how to talk to like touring bands and work with their tour managers and help them tour across the country. But on top of that, my big focus has been connecting Albuquerque's local scene with these touring scenes too. Right? So I'll try and make sure I really advocate to try and put local bands as opening bands on all these shows. And I'll send links of local bands to the like agents and say, hey, you should add this band onto that show. You should add this, and I'll bug them. Put this band on the show. Put this band on the show. Doesn't always work. Sometimes the agents are like, no, it's just our touring band. That's it. We don't want anybody else. But sometimes I have success, and then I've always feel like that side of me, the producer side of me, is like where I give back to the community, right? And I think that when I was in Blackout as a theater artist, I gave back to my community by doing teaching. And I would make my art, and then I would teach and help people make their art, right? And now in this new position I'm in, I play in a band, a couple bands, I make my art, and then I also produce and I help other bands make their art and get their art out there. And that's the main goal, is to just help other people express themselves through music, in this stage. And that's kind of what I focus on at Launchpad, is just trying to like grow local bands. I'm always checking out new locals, and I'm always trying to find out who the up and coming bands are that I can like help get on a show.
Well, incredible. And do you? It seems like it feeds you, fills you with life to do all these things. Like if you could just do one, like is this? Are you kind of like living your dream in some way, getting to do all these different things, or you're like, oh, I would like to just tour all year round, or is this kind of your dream in a way, what you're doing?
It's kind of my dream in a way. I feel like I would get very bored just doing one thing. Like I was supposed to have stopped doing the Blackout Theatre thing like 2 years ago now, and I'm still doing Blackout Theatre stuff. I don't know. It feels like, breathing is 2 acts in and out. Right?
Yeah.
And you gotta do both, right?
Yes.
I gotta take in new art, and I've gotta express out old art, or not old art, but other art, my own art, right?
Yes.
And so I feel like I have to have like both input and output of a way, and that kind of gives me balance a little bit in my life, and like not necessarily like economic stability or anything like that.
That's overrated.
But like it's money's just a number. It's stupid. The joy that I get to experience by like making music and helping others make music is invaluable. And I know that like if times get really rough, I know I can reach out to people who I've made music with. I know that I have community and support because I also help and support, at the same time. And I think that those bonds are like stronger than anything.
Well, Barney, you've been an inspiration to me for a long time and to many people, and blessings to all that you're doing, to your music, to your bands, to all that you do for the music scene and for just continue, and we're lucky to have you in New Mexico, and thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
My pleasure. All right, this is Barney Lopez, and keep doing what you're doing, and God bless you and everything you do.
Right on.
All right.